Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So today we are going to be entering what we call joins. Joins. The thing is, so far so good. We have been working with the DVD rentals database, which we're aware of. But that's not what I want to draw to my or our attention. What I want to draw to our attention is the fact that will I say how do you say it? Is it subsequently? Is it consequently? Let's not speak big grammar. But so far, so good. Yeah. All the queries we're working on, I've been creating that specific database, and it has been creating maybe one or two tables. Like maybe we have used the film table, I've used one or two other tables. Like we have just been working with single tables. Like we have been writing queries that will look for something in database and give us an output from one specific table. That's what we've been doing so far. Like we've done a lot of things like within that context, but overall, generally, I'm trying to like tell us that generally we've just been working with just one table. We've just been working with just one table. We've been working one table at a time, one table per time, one table per time, one table per time. That's what we've been doing so far, so good. And it's good like because we have been able to explore some very key, very interesting concepts in SQL. So what we are going to be doing from now on, or for today's class, is we're going to be exploring how do we work in multiple tables. And that question, when you ask how, the answer to that question is joining tables together. And in SQL, we use something we call the joins. We use something we call the joins to perform such action. So for example, if maybe in the for example the I think the film table, we have the films that, or the movies, we have their titles, we have description, and we have something called a language ID. If you remember, I don't know if I think maybe we looked at something like that in the class just briefly. And I showed us the language table also that, oh, in the language table, we have the IDs and we also have like the actual language per ID. Yes. And I don't know if you remember me talking about that. I was like, oh, if we want to see the ID per language, that will use something called join. So that's why join is useful. Like I'm able to like bring information from more than one table together. So when you're working with joins, it can be one table, it can be you joining two tables together, it can be you joining three tables together. But we explore this concept so that we can understand it a bit. So overview of joins. Joins in SQL I used to combine data from two or more tables. So it can be two or more tables. And yeah, two or more tables based on a related column between them. So when you talk about joins, you talk about relationships. You talk about relationships between tables. You talk about relationship between tables. I don't know if we've been able to do Power BI. We've been able to work in Power BI. And, in Power BI, we have several views. We have the report view, we have the table view, we have the DAX query view, and we have the specific view, which is related to us right now, the model view. And in Power BI, I learned that, oh, if you bring more than one table into Power BI, they are related. Yeah, so if I bring five tables that are related, maybe one table is giving me information about the customers, one table is giving me information about the customer's location, one table is giving me information about customer purchase and etc. Like I have five related tables I bring into Power BI. Unfortunately, if I want to visualize things between each other, or visualize things like let's say I want to see something in the cost from the customer's table and also something from the customer payment table, as long as I don't create that relationship, I won't be able to do that, right? I won't be able to do that. So in a way, it's kind of similar. Although like Power BI, you can see everything directly and everything. So sometimes the difference between that and this is, of course, you're writing queries and some things might not be as visual, but the underlying concept remains. If I want to see something from table A, which is maybe customers, and I want to see something from table B, which is maybe payment information, I have to join in SQL. Now we're talking about SQL. I have to join these two tables based on a relationship, based on a related column. So let's say the customer's table. So this is just an example. I'll show us all of this as we go on. Let's say the customer's table has the customer ID column, and maybe the payment table also has the customer ID column. So in a way, because that I've already seen that, oh, that's two related column, and of course the information is related, I can join those two tables based on the customer ID. So we'll look at all this, we'll look at all this, we'll look at all this together. We'll look at all this together. The joins, they allow us to retrieve meaningful information that can span across multiple tables. That can span across multiple tables. Yes, so without joins, it will be difficult to analyze some complex data sets, a lot of complex data sets, a lot of complex data sets. Because like now, this is what, although like we're trying to mimic the real world, we're trying to mimic the real world environment. If you're working in a company, they can, let's say the data engineer has already been able to create a table structure and things like that, and gives you the database. Oh, as a data analyst, you're supposed to get insights. That's not my job as data engineer. Do your job. You are working on multiple tables. How will you be able to bring something from one table and bring something from that table to help you derive insight? This is something you should know as a data analyst, and we'll cover all of this. We'll cover all of this together. We'll cover all of this together. So after this, I'll show you like pictorial representations of the different types of joins and how they work. So we actually have different types of joins. We have the inner join, we have the outer join. In SQL, we have the left join. So this is regardless of the type, whether you're working on MySQL, you're working on PG admin, that's a Postgres SQL, you're working on what's it called? Which other one is get Microsoft SQL Server. All these join concepts remain the same. So we have the inner join, we have the outer join, we have the left join, and we have the right join. So what I'm going to do now is, because like now we're just hearing about it, we actually need to have a pictorial representation of things to grasp things a bit better. So what I'm going to show you now is Venn diagrams, and the Venn diagrams will be able to hopefully help us out to understand this a bit more. So, okay, joins, we need to know that joins are very important techniques in SQL. They can seem a bit complicated. Don't worry, I'm going to work things from the ground up. And if you understand the theory and in practice, many examples and many challenges, you'll be able to grasp the concept eventually, hopefully. So I'm going to just move on a bit. So, okay, this is, for example, what you're seeing here, for example, is how, because we're writing queries, right? But we need to understand it visually also. But this is an example of a basic query structure when we are trying to write joins. So you say select your column here from what table, you specify the join type. So what I mean by join type in here, remember I said there are different types of join. There's the outer join, there's the inner join, there's the left join, and there's the right join, and which we'll cover very soon. We'll just cover the small concepts that we get into writing queries. So which we'll cover very soon. So from table this thing, join type on where? This on part now specifies the relationship between table 1 and table 2. So from table 1, join, but let's say I'm doing an inner join, I'll say inner join table 2 on table 1 dot key dot table 2 dot key. So what's going on here? Table 2 1 dot key on table 1 dot key and table 2 dot key are where there's a relationship. Where there is a relationship. We'll get into this right now. But I want us to grasp the overall concept. So in about inner joins, when you're working with inner joins, when you say something like, if you have, okay, I'll show us a Venn diagram. So inner joins are the easiest type of join, and it helps us understand. So this is what I started from inner joins. Even with our examples, we'll start with inner joins. It helps us to understand the general concept of joins. Inner joins will help us understand or demystify the general concept of joins. So we're going to talk about the concept. We're not going to be talking about queries much right now in this slide until we get to PG admin. So here is a Venn diagram. I think that's what they call it, two tables together. So picture this. One circle is a table. The second circle is also a table. So just imagine what this is two tables. Yeah, we're trying to understand the concept of inner join. Now, two tables together, if I bring them, like if I okay, draw the circle one, draw the circle two, and I bring them, and you see this in between here. If I decide to say, okay, I want information that relates to both tables, here will end up be shaded. So this is two tables before that we might want to join, yeah, or that we're joining together. So what does the inner join mean, or what does inner join do? Inner join brings related information from both table A and table B. It brings related information from the two tables. So when we write our queries, we write the queries very soon. The query outputs the intersect kind of between table A and table B. I think we should stop here and we'll look at this inner join that we're talking about. So there are different types of join. There are different types of join. Inner join, left join, right join, and outer join actually. So inner join, our query outputs, you will write queries right now, very soon, like maybe in a minute. Our query outputs where is similar between table one and table two. The left join, for example, now, if I show you the Venn diagram, okay, this is full outer join, it brings out everything from both tables. Imagine there are two tables. The left join, for example, only brings out everything on table one or table A, you can see the diagram, and brings only where table B is related to table A. So in the intersect here, they are saying, oh, table B is showing, but only where it's related to table A. It brings out everything on the left table. Basically, that's why we call it left join. Some people call it left outer join, but you don't really need to say the outer. So the left join brings out everything on the left table and only brings the things on the right table where it is related to the left. The right join is going to be the opposite. It brings out everything on the right table and brings out the left table only where it's related to the right. So let's get into query. Let's get into query. We're going to talk about the inner join first of all. And we have some questions that will hopefully help us demystify the join. But this is the general structure when you're writing into queries. What column are you selecting? From what table? Actually, before we even go, since it's hard, like I just showed us diagrams. Yes, and we're not rushing, we're taking things slow and we're trying to understand things. But these diagrams, unfortunately, might not be easy for us to understand. Like we don't understand it yet. We don't know joints yet. We're learning it all together. We're learning together in this class, right? But I've showed us the general concept that left join is basically okay. You want everything on the left side, but only join the right table, yes, where it's related to the left. So, but the thing is, it's a bit confusing. I'm very sure because you're just hearing words, and although I showed you diagrams, we're going to be writing queries. So, how would we spatially visualize this? Like in terms of like in your mind, how are you going to picture this? How are you going to picture this? Okay, I'm telling you left. Oh, that's very easy to understand. I mean, left join everything from the left side of the table. They only bring the right, like the second in the second table, only bring like if I'm working on two tables now, table A and table B, want everything from table A, which is at the left, then only bring table B where it's related to table A. Right join obviously is going to be the opposite. Bring only table B, which is the right table, but only bring table A where it's related to the right. So but you're hearing these things, you're hearing these things, you're hearing these things, it's still a bit confusing, I'm very sure. So I want us to focus on this query, for example. We'll get to a real query. This is an example query. I want us to focus on this query. What's going on here is, select column one, column two, maybe I'm saying column three also from table one. Join type, let's say this join type now is I can specify the join. I can say inner join. I can say, let's say we say inner join, right? Inner join what? The second table, that's table two. On where? The relationship. Let's say table one has ID. I can say table one dot customer ID equals to table two dot customer ID. We're not saying things yet, but here's what we want to focus on. Here's what we want to focus on. We want to focus actually on this from table one and this join table two. Because the thing is, for example, or not even for example, the thing is, when we're writing these queries, yes, we can understand the concept of, left join is this, the right join is this. How would we actually know which table is at the left? And how will we know which table is at the right? That's the main question. Okay, I'm saying right. Oh, it's quite. Once you hear the concept, I mean, okay, how do we apply this now in SQL? What table is my left table? What table is my right table? What table is my left table? What table is my right table? So I'll just tell you this right now, then we'll start querying this. I will tell you again, don't worry, as much as it takes for us to understand. I'm going to tell us which one is going to be at the left, which one is going to be at right. But look at it like this. Whatever table you call first in your from, like when you say select, then you say the from. Whatever table you mention there is your left table. So in this is just an example. I said from table one. Because I said from table one first, like because table one is the first table I mentioned, if we're trying to look at it in our minds, like if we're trying to visualize it spatially now in our heads, table one is our left table because it was called first in the from statement. Table one is our left table. So this join type now, I can say maybe it's an inner join, table two. Table two, since it's the second table we called, is going to be at our right. So table one actually now is our left table. Table two is actually our right table because table one was called first before table two. So let's actually start seeing how this works. Let us actually enter pgadmin. I don't know if your pgadmin is open. Mine is. Let's actually enter pgadmin and try to understand what we're talking about. Let's enter pgadmin and try to understand what we're talking about. So I am going to share my entire screen. I don't know if you can see my screen. Okay, so we have some questions I want to answer. So we have some questions we want to answer. The first question is going to be based on, what's my this thing open? The first question is going to be based on the inner join concept. So let's actually see how this looks like. Let's not just explain. Let's see how this looks like in query, like when we're trying to write up the queries. Like how does this look? So our question, let me copy and paste it. So if you can see my screen, or if you can't see my screen, please please mention it, just in case. Okay. So our first question is that we want to retrieve. Oh yes, this is what I even mentioned. I mentioned this example before. Let's say that we have in the film table, we have the movies and we have the language ID. It's telling us that is this specific language, but we're not seeing. So what do I mean? Let's even look at it again. So if we say select all from film, the film table from film. What's going to happen? Of course, we're going to see everything in the film table. And yeah, we are seeing the films, right? Film ID, title. We're seeing description. We're seeing language ID. But unfortunately, we're not seeing the specific language that this film might be in. And of course, I mentioned that we also have the language table. In the language table now, what is specified there is, so let's do that from language. The language table, what's specified there is the, what's it called? Language per IDs. So we have the language ID also here, but like per each language ID, we have a language name. So anywhere you see one is going to be English. Anywhere you see two is going to be Italian. Anywhere you see three and so forth, so on and so forth. So the question now asks us to retrieve a list of movies. So we want the movies, of course, in the language table, we don't have the movie names or the movie title, which we have, but in another table called the film table. So this question is actually asking us now to work with two tables, the film table and the language table. This question requires us to work with two tables. One, the film table, because that's where we have the movie name or the movie title. Then the language table, that's where, of course, in the film table, we have the language ID also, but like, and in the language table also have the language ID. So in a way, remember I said something about joins, that we join something based on a relationship. Let's run the film table again. One more. We're seeing language ID here. Let's just confirm that we have it in the film table. So if you want to join something together or two tables together, you are joining on a relationship. What is language ID? Yes, you also see language ID here. And we know from like generally like that this is the database like from a store or from two DVD rental stores from the same company. So we are aware of the general context of the this thing already. So we know this table, this database contains tables that are related, but specifically, where are these film and language table related? Like how are they related? Through, and the answer is that they are related through the language ID. So let's write a join SQL query that answers this for us. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Now we'll get so what's the result of joins? Remember, the joins are a result. Joins are a result of combining one, or sorry, I say one, two or more tables. And there's actually funny enough, I just said one, and there's actually a what's the word? And like what's how they say it in English? There's actually an outlier within this joint that you could actually join one table to itself. But we'll talk about that. That's actually called a self-join. We'll talk about that later. There's actually an outlier, but usually, generally, joins are when you work with two or more tables. But in our case now, we are working with something from the film table, we are working with something from the language table, right? We want to bring a new table that gives us an output from both. So let me show you how I'm going to write this now. So remember, this was the general syntax. Select from where, what join type, then where's the relationship. So let's see how that actually works in SQL. So I'm going to say select, want the title, right? A list of movies. Remember, in the film, this thing is not called movies, it's called title, right? I'll say title. I'm going to write this the normal way first, then edit it a bit to give us the full scope. Title, right? Then in the language table, we're interested in the name of the language, and it's actually called name. The language is here. So I'll say name. So this we're not done yet. This is just the beginning. I'm even going to edit this. But let's give it an alias. Let's call it language. Just at the beginning. I'll come back to this select statement and edit one thing. So from the film. Let's say from film. If we're using a left join now, film tables are at the left. And even if it's right join, film tables are left. Because remember, the table you mentioned first is at your left-hand side. The table you call it at becomes at the right-hand side. But in this our case, we are going to be doing an inner join. Inner join. Inner join what? So from I've already said, okay, one this and this thing from film. If I run this actually, I will receive an error because title is from film, but name is not from film. Name doesn't exist. So, but only if I run this with title will I give an output. So name doesn't exist in the film table, but it exists in the language table. What we're trying to do here, remember, we are trying to connect two tables together to give us one new table, to give us one output in a new table. So from film, I'm going to be saying inner join the table of our choice, which is language. Language. Inner join this thing, which is language. So where are we? Where is the relationship? Like how are they related together now? So if I say inner join language, I run it, I'll still going to receive an error. It doesn't work. So we are joining. Remember, joining works like we are joining on a related column. If you remember when we looked at these slides, I don't know, to join two tables, two or more tables based on a related column between them. So now the question is, where is the related column between them? And we already know that it's going to be language ID, right? On language ID, let's just look at how it's written again. I think it's language underscore ID. Language ID, language underscore ID equal to language underscore ID. But this is not going to work yet. I just want to show us the general structure-ish. We're going to edit this. So let's call this step one. This step one is for us to just understand, okay, this is the type, this is what selecting title and language. Of course, language is not from film. So, but this is where we made the language table be able to, this is where we are going to make this query work out. But there's one thing missing, actually. So this is why I call this step one. It's just like just one or two things we need to slightly adjust, and this query will be able to work. So step two. Step two now, I'm just going to copy and paste this and just show you. And it did it in step two. Step two, we are going to do it differently. So I'm going to say from film, I can say as F. So because like I have to now in joins, you have to explicitly, usually most of the times, mention where the things you are bringing in your select, and whether it's a select statement or in the join statement, in the like what you say inner join. Like I mean, in this join type now, sorry, in this on, you have to explicitly always specify where whatever column you are referring to is from, because now you are working on more than one table. If it's just one table, you're from this, that's all. But if you're working on multiple tables, more often than not, you will need to specify where the table is coming from in the select statement and in the on clause, like join type. When you put your join type, let's say inner join, what table you want to join on where. So how does that work? How does that work? So for these are our joins to work properly, I just mentioned we always need to specify what table this thing is coming from. So from film, we'll give the table sources an alias. We'll give both table sources an alias. Like when I mean alias, remember alias is just a name that we can refer it to. But in this case, we'll just give it a short looking name. So from film as F. Yes. Then I'll say inner join language as L. Right? So I've done that. Now let's wait. Let's pause. Let's go to our select statement first. Then we'll now go back to this on. This will be on. Language. This will be on here. We'll go back to this on. So let's put it on in the next line. Or let's leave it like this. Like this. So because I said film, the film table is called F. I will now go to my select statement and explicitly specify this title now is from F. I'll say F.title, meaning this title is coming from F, and F actually means film. So you get the idea. So anywhere, what like the column you want to specify is coming from, you have to like give it an alias, like this language as L now. So this name, I'll say L.name because this L is referring to language. That's like saying from language.name. But saying language.name, unfortunately, is too long. It's going to take too much like screen time, and it will make our queries look complex when it's not. So I'm not done. Just one more thing for me to tweak. So language L as L on where I'll see now F, which is the film table. On the film table dot language ID equal to the L.language ID. What this means right now is that we're saying, okay, select title. This title of course referring to the film table. Like this title is from the film table. Well, we want to bring the language name, which is from the language table. So L.language name, L.name, F.title, because of course we also specified it. We specified in the alias in the in the from clause. So from film as F, from language as L. So that's why if I say L now, I say .name, it knows it's from the language table. If I say F, and I say .title, is from the title table. So on where, like this on now is okay, explaining the relationship. Okay, I'm joining language as L. Okay, I understand that part. Where, how? Where is the connection? The on part specifies the connection. On saying now, this now me saying, okay, where F.language now is saying in film table the language equals to the language table the language ID. I mean film table the language ID equals to language table the language ID. If I run this now, it works out. So we now see the title remember, which was from the film table. We see the language, the name of the language, which is from the language table. Of course, we gave it as language, so it's showing us language here. So maybe I could have said f.title as movie. Example, if I run this, just basically the header that's going to change. Movie. I don't know if we get this concept. This is actually the concept of joins. This is new territory for us, I understand, but it's not as hard as it seems. It's not as hard as it seems. So remember what the inner join does actually is brings out an intercept. It's like, okay, the output that's showing here, what is showing right now in our query, like what we can see right now, is it's only bringing where it's related from both tables together. Where it's related from both tables. What I mean by that is, if, how am I going to explain this now? If it's not like if the movie type, if the movie column, right, from the what's it called, from the film table has a place that is null, it will not bring that place. Like if the movie table has some columns that are null, that nothing is inside, it's not going to bring from those null columns. Why? Because the language column might have where there are things inside. How am I going to put it? So think of it like this. Think of it like this. Remember, it's an intersect, the inner join. Remember, we exclusively mentioned want to do an inner join. So you can picture it like this. We have two tables. We have two tables. We have two tables. We only want to bring where it's related between both tables. Like if I have two tables now, table one can have some places that nothing is in some columns. We have some empty columns. Maybe I should even open up Excel for this. I'm just going to copy one or two things. I'm just going to copy one or two things from somewhere. Just just bring this down in Excel. So yes, we're joining two tables together. So let's picture when we're using the inner join concept. Let's picture this what's it called? This yellow stuff going on here as one table. And let's picture this as another table. Let's make it blue. Right? Unfortunately or unfortunately, there might be some times in the yellow table, let's say this yellow box we are seeing at the table, there might be some times here where we might have some empty spaces or we have some nulls or blanks. Okay, let's say we have all the way here, we have here blank. Let's say around here blank, nothing is inside there. Right? With an inner join. But the thing about this table you're seeing on the left, right? The thing about this table you're seeing on the left is that the right table has related information with it. Like there's basically information that's similar from both tables, or columns that are similar from both tables. For example, if I use an inner join, instead of it showing me all these places that are blanks, the new table that will bring out a result will have, let's say, will just show me outputs around around something like this. Let's say this is a new table. I'll just make it orange. Oh no, I pray not to confuse us. Let's make it orange. The new table now is not going to give us all these places now in the blue table. It's not going to give us all these places in the yellow table. It's going to give us this because one where there's both information in both tables. So it's bringing information from this table, yellow table. It's bringing information from the blue table, right? Like where they have information, where they have information. No, it's not going to bring the left join now, for example, can bring up all the things in the left table and only where it's related in the right table. That means there will be instances in the right table where there are nulls. But we'll get to, I'll show you examples really of what this means, of what is going on actually here. I just wanted to give us another kind of pictorial representation, I guess. But I don't know, looking at this query, this is quite foreign. I know. This is quite foreign. I could actually even make it a bit more, because it's quite long. I could actually make it a bit more shorter or more short. I could say step 2 or step 3. So what I'm going to do here is not going to be crazy. Instead of this as, because I'm putting as, join something as this, join something as this, is making it a bit long. I could just say film table F, language table L. I don't need to put as after. And if I run it, to still give me the same output. It still give me the same output. It still give me the same output. So that's the inner join for you. Let's look at one more example. Let's look at one more example because I think we have about 2 examples for the inner join. Let's look at one more example. We have 2 examples for the inner join. So where's example 2? Example 2 is want to display each movie's title and its corresponding category name. So want to display each movie's title and its corresponding category name. So want to see the title of the movie and the category, because in the film table, if you look at it just quickly, unfortunately, we don't have a category of the film. We have the ratings, we have important information, but we don't have the category. So that's if you can remember, that means we're going to connect another table, which is the category table. Because in the category table now, if I say select all from category, we actually do have the category of the movie action. So that's category name, category name, category name. So in the film table, so we're seeing category ID here, right? Category ID. Let's check whether we also have category ID in the film table. Category ID. Do we have category ID in the film table? Let's look at it. Category ID, category ID, category ID. We don't have, looks like we don't have category ID in the film table. But we'll find a way. We'll find a way. Do we have film ID in the category? Okay, we'll find a way. We'll find a way. Don't worry. Film. We have the category ID. Category. We have the, what's it called? But sorry, let me check this again one more time. Film table, category ID name, last update. Film ID. Unfortunately, we don't have category ID. So for this, it's gonna be a bit tricky. But I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do this. For this, I'm just going to move through this what's it called? These are our schemas, and I'm going to connect. I'm going to find out where I'm going to connect things together. So unfortunately, it looks as if we might have used the film and the category table, but we have nothing. If you look at it, we have nothing. If you check, if you're with me just now, we actually have nothing to directly use to connect the film and the category table together. Unfortunately, 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 we don't have what to use. Like if the film table, we don't have category ID, but we have film ID. In the category table, we don't have film ID, but we have the category ID. I'm sure we're both seeing it together. So what I'm going to do in this case is, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to use I'm going to look for, what's it called? A helper in Excel, you call it a helper column. We are looking for a helper table to bridge the gap between this film and category table. That's what I'm going to do. So you might see us joining 3 tables together right now. I actually thought it was 2. So we're actually going to join 3 tables together. So we are looking for where has film ID. So where I'll probably join the film tool first, then I'll use to join the category table. So ideally, we're looking for a table that has film ID and category ID at the same time. Interesting, right? So let's look at the actor. The actor table, if you look at the columns, all 3 here, actor ID, nope, that's not what we need. Let's look at thinking about this. We might either need film actor. Let's check film actor. Film ID, okay, actor ID. I don't think it's this. Let's look for something else. So I like as we are doing, I don't know if we're following what I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to do this in real time. Category ID. So I'm trying to connect the film and the category. I'm trying to connect the film and the category. We're trying to connect the film and the category, and we are looking for something that will make sense. So we're looking for something that will make sense to bridge the gap. So let's check film category. Okay, film category has the film ID. If we connect the film to it, Okay, it might work. Film category both has the film ID and the category ID. I don't know if you can see it. It both has the film ID and the category ID. So this will bridge the gap. This will bridge the gap for us. This will bridge the gap for us. So this is actually us combining three tables together. So let's look at this happen. I don't know if this is as interesting as to you as it is to me, but let's make this happen. Let's make this work. So I'll say select all from film category. I don't need to say select all sharp, but you can see it has film ID, category ID, and yeah, it can work anyway. It can work any way we do it, or any table we start from, as long as it's either the film or the category, we'll be able to use this to bridge the gap. So let's do this. So we remember the question is display each movie's title and movie name and category name. Sorry. So in the category table, it's called what? Name. That's going to be way easy. So I'm going to select. Remember, in the movie title, in the film table, it's called the film title, right? So it's called the title. I can say f dot title. I also want the c dot category. So I'm going to call the category table c dot category. Yeah, from where? I'm going to start with the film table from film. From the film, from the film, from the film. So I'm just calling only the so film F. Let's say film F because I'm only calling the title from the film table here, but we have to connect everything to make it work. So I'm going to use an inner join. I'll say inner join. Inner join where I'm going to join the actually I'm going to join the film category first. I'm actually going to join the film category first because I can't directly join film and category together because film has film ID, category has category ID, so there's nothing. So if I say inner join film category, so where is the join going to happen? I would say on. Okay, let's call it let's say film category FC. Film category FC on F, which is first table dot film ID. So you can even see it's even completing it for me. You can see how correct we are. F dot film ID equals to yeah, that this is it. Equals to FC dot film ID. So this won't work though. Why would this work? If I run this, we don't have something called category. This C dot category hasn't been created. Like we have not joined the category table. We have only joined film to film category because film has title as film ID. So you can see film has film ID only. Yeah. Why category has category ID only. But this film category, if you look at it, if you can check it in yours, has both film ID and category ID. So I'm going to use that. So when I'm joining, this join I'm doing here is to bridge the gap. Basically now, this has become one table. An inner join has occurred there and it's become one. So I will also do a second inner join to answer this question. I could have actually looked at the question better. I actually thought it was just one inner join. So I'll say inner join now. What I'll bring now, I can say category now. Category C on C dot category ID. Category ID. So you can see it's already completing it for me. Equals to FC dot category ID. So if we run this now, there should be no problems. FC dot category ID does not exist. Okay, let me check this a bit. Let's run category. Category ID. Okay, equals to FC, right? Dot category ID. So let's run again, sorry. C dot category ID does not exist. It meant to exceed the category ID. Category IC on. Okay, let me change this a bit. Does anybody have any clue on what's going on? Let me actually look at the error. Let me look at the error again. See the category ID does not exist. Select see. Oh yes. There's no such thing as in the category table. There's no such thing as category. It's category ID. So I'm making a mistake in the select statement. I hope we are all watching how this is being done and watching how I'm deciphering this. So this was my mistake. category ID in the category table, which is category C, like which is C, does not exist. So if I run this now, you should be able to get output. Mm, actually, sorry, I'm looking at things from the wrong angle. Remember, it's a category name we're looking for. So I'm supposed to say C the category name. Sorry about this. It's the name we're looking for. I'm not looking for the ID because FC dot cat. Oh, sorry. Let's leave this. Yes, this works. This works. I'll show us. Yes. Yup. So this works. This works. So this is now, this is the answer to our question. So what's going on here is that we wanted to see the cat. So you can see the title and you can see the category it is from. Like this is the answer we're looking for. But unfortunately, right, our film table only has the film. That's the title. And our category table has category ID, which film table doesn't have. So we can't link these two together. Although we know, like, of course, is information that's kind of related in terms of these are data we got from our store. We are unable to link the two together because there's no related column. So that was our dilemma. That was our problem. There was no related column, unfortunately, right? So when we were not scanning through our database, which or a schema, let's say I was scanning through our schema, anyone to call it, and we're looking through our tables. Okay, what columns does this table have? What does this table have in this column? What's going on? Like, what table can we use as a bridge? Because all of this is three tables all together. Yeah, three tables have been brought all together. Not just that, but into one. And of course, this is happening temporarily because this is only happening in our query. This is only happening when this query is run. But three tables have been brought together as one. Yeah. And we did it in a way because now we brought three tables at one, yes, but we didn't do it in a way that it shows us everything in all the three tables. We just selected what we wanted. We just selected what we wanted. Just selected what we wanted. So this, 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 this is the concept of working with joins. This is the concept of working with joins. We had to find where it was related. We had to find, and all the way here, when we found that we had film category, we could bring film table and film category together. Yeah, because both of them have film ID. We're not still correct yet because we also mentioned we also want to see the name. So, but yeah, what had happened here, although we will not be seeing it because if we run this, it's going to give us error. At this point in time, at this point in time, although because of course, like until you have to complete and everything, at this point in time, we'll be able to bring the film table and the film category table together and select what we wanted, just the film title, just the title from the film. This is what's going on here. This is what was going on at this point in time. This place I highlighted or selected. So until we not made this thing complete. So if this seed name was not actually here, this will just bring the film title. What's going on from film? Oh yeah, because I put a comma. This is actually just bring the film title. These are actually joined two tables, but we're only asking in this query now. Remember, I'm commenting this in two things. In this query now, I'm just saying, okay, show me only the title. I don't want anything else. Yeah, but let me uncomment the commented things. It was until we now brought this that okay, also inner join category on category ID equals to FC. So I don't know, like what's our feedback on this? How do we view this? Are we trying it out on our system? Is it something that looks scary, crazy? Please, what do we think? What do we think?
Okay, for me, so on my side, as I told you earlier, today I'm just watching, so I can't really say I'm following what you're doing per se, but I will watch the videos.
No problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. It's okay. It's fine. We'll be able to understand this eventually. We'll be able to understand it eventually. So you need
But
a lot
I
of
have a
practice.
question.
What's the question?
This select F, you mean film, so you can always
Yes.
shortcut the
Yes. The table name was alias as film.
yes.
But we don't actually need to write as. The thing was that we don't need to write as. It just makes our query look longer. If I put as F there, FC as, it just makes it slightly longer. Makes it, if I say category C as C, it makes our query slightly longer. Although not bad too. If I explicitly say within the tables after I call them, you can also do it like this. It's not bad. Maybe it's a bit more understandable like this. Maybe we should leave it as. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
Then I have a question. Why are we doing the
Okay.
joint for this question and yet the I've seen there are two types. There are two tables, category and the film table, right?
There are three tables actually. This is the film table. Yeah, this is in this our statement. We're calling the film table. We're calling the film category. This is this. If you see where my mouse is hovering over, and we're also calling the category table. This is three tables. We're actually joining three tables together. But the fact that we're joining three tables together doesn't mean we're bringing everything at once from the three tables. Why? What do I mean? In the select statements, you can always select where you are interested in. So in our case, we selected that we're interested in the title from the film table, the name from the category table. So I could also say like this and just say select all and specify the connections, and it will still work. Select all now, bring everything from film. So the film table first. So everything you see is from the film table first. If you now go to the end, you'll see everything from the category. You can see this film ID, category ID, and last update are from the category, I think. Then you'll see everything from the uh so so let's say film category. Film category will have just okay, film ID, category ID, last update. Category will have category ID, category name, and this thing. So if I say selector, I can literally bring out everything from all the tables. So film table stops saying full text, I think. Yeah. This this second one, film ID, category ID, last update, is from the film category. Because remember, we said, look at it here. Film ID, category ID, last update. It's actually bringing out the output of three tables. So the category ID, name, and last update, these last three things are from where? Are from this last table, which we called here. So if you call the film, we call the category film category, and last one we call was category. So if I actually go to category all the way from this side, you can see category ID, name, and last update. But why it outputted what we outputted is because in select statement, it's explicitly specifying what we're looking for. And in our case, we're trying to answer the question, display each movie title. We want to just see title and the category name. Title and the category name. That's why this was the answer to our question. So this one is if we want to see if we wanted to see everything, everything from the joined tables. If you want to see everything, you see select all. But this is not an answer. But if we actually want to see everything from the joined table, that's what we'll do. So we'll do.
I ask a
So
question,
let's
please.
continue. Okay, one more. Go ahead.
I'm asking when you write select film title, category name. You want the title column from the film
Yes,
table, and the name
from the
column
category.
from the category.
Yeah,
Then why are you saying again from film as F means?
this as F, like, if I don't specify where this is coming from, I mean, I don't necessarily need to specify where this is coming from if actually looking at this. I think it should work regardless. It should work regardless. But why I'm teaching you like this, why I'm teaching us like this with the F dots and this thing dots here is because, like, there might be cases where let's say my this title that you're seeing there, what if my film category also has title? So if I just say title like this, I might not be specifying it. I'm basically not specifying where the title is explicitly from, because this now we're working on multiple tables. Most of the time, you have to specify where your title is explicitly from. So if I don't specify where my title is from, you can just bring any title from any column or from any table. Which the thing is that might not give us the right answer to our question at that specific time. So you actually need to specify it most of the time. In our case, because like title only exists once, title only exists in one table, which is film. Name only exists in one table, which is the category. It will still give us the same answer regardless. But why I'm doing it like that is, what if two tables have the same have like title and title, and that goes to give you it from the wrong table? What do you do in that situation? And that, like, it might not lead to the right answer at the end of the day. So that's why I explicitly specified F dot title and C dot name. That's why I did it like that.
Okay.
So let us try to answer the next question. So this is an inner join. With this few questions, these new questions I will answer, you would hopefully understand join a little bit more. So list all the movies with the actor names. Let me paste it up in our, what's it called? Now, list all the movies with along with the actor names, including movies that don't have any actors assigned yet. Okay, so you're going to see something very similar to Excel here. Do you remember the concat in Excel? Who remembers that? Concat.
Are
Yeah.
combining
I don't know if anybody remembers.
different names.
Yeah, if it's concatenate, remember it's the same thing, but it's concat we call it. It's concat is the newer version of concatenate in Excel. If you remember the upper, but I'm not going to. You can also use upper and lower in SQL actually, like literally the way they function in Excel. You can actually use them. For example, I could just play around with my formal query and say upper. So if I just say upper and I say F dot title, or it doesn't need to F dot title. Remember, it can be title. So give me, okay, title is already in uppercase. Let's do it for name. No, let's say lower, because this is the output. I say lower of that. It's just going to change the column title to a lowercase academic dinosaur. So actually, this function exists. Why I'm saying this is because this stuff we want to do right now, the answer to this question might have us using a concat, but it works the same way it does in Excel. Works the same way it does in Excel. So let's try to answer this. So we're interested, well, basically from this, we can see that we're interested in the actor table, in the film table, in the actor table also. So the actor table just have actor ID, first name, last name, and this thing. So uh, all movie titles, including their actor names. Actor names. So let's answer this. Let's answer this. Let's answer this. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So I'm going to say select F the title. So I'm going to define this F. What does F mean and what's about later? But I know the film table. I'll just call it F. F the title. I want the notes. Actor table, I'll call it A. Now say first name. So it's first underscore name. first underscore name. I also want the last name, right? So A dot last underscore name. From film. Film. Would you basically want the movies and the actors of the movies or the main actors? So, and in this case, we're actually going to use a left join on this. So this is actually us exploring the left join. Left join. We're actually going to use a left join on this, and I'll show you. I'll show us how this works. So if I'm using a left join, I just specify left join. So to visualize it spatially, this film table, because I mentioned it first, is our left table. So whatever query output I'm going to do, or we're going to see, it's going to show us everything from the film table. Then only where the first name and last name from the actor table are related. So looking at this also, we might have to what's the word? We might have to use something else to as a bridge. Because now I'm looking at the actor table, it has actor ID. Remember, film table has film ID. So this is not gonna work. I unfortunately can't break actor directly unless I use a bridge. I think we have film actor as a bridge. Film actor, we have, I don't know if you can see this. We have actor ID, we have film ID. The actor table has actor ID, film table has film ID. So we have a bridge here actually. I'm gonna use this film actor as a bridge. So let's left join film actor. I will say, let's not forget to say as A or as F. So film actor will be as FA. On where? On where it's related. On F dot film ID. So you can see it's already completed it for me to show we are correct. Got to film FA dot film ID. Interesting. Now we can actually join the table we want, which is the actors. Because we have the A dot first name, A dot last name. That's referring to the actor table, which we'll do now. Left join, also left join actor. On where? Now I can see FA dot actor ID. So he's already completing for me. No, FA dot actor ID equal to. So we want to join the actor table, right? Equal to actor as A. So as A, let's not forget as A. FA dot actor ID equals A dot actor ID. So if I run this actually, I'll see the title of the film, and I'll see the main actors. The title of the film, I mean actors. I hope this is not looking too complicated. It looks long-ish. It looks different-ish. It's just because we're working on something different. So in this other case, let me decomplicate it by removing A of title. Let's decomplicate it, don't worry. Let's decomplicate it. But we'll still leave this as on there. Let's decomplicate it. It still work regardless. So this is the answer, but I will tweak it a bit because I said I wanted to show us the concatenate. So answer. So what if we want the first name and last name to be together? If you are used to Excel, you will understand using the concat to bring two columns together. You will know the concat function. And same thing here. It literally works the same way. So I'm going to copy and paste this. I want to bring the first name and last name of the actors, and I will call it actor name. So I will go to the front, concat. I will wrap this first name. Remember, in Excel, if I say concat, in Excel, for example, I think I have Excel open. If I say Thomas, Julius, yeah, and I want to bring these two names together, I'll use the equal to concat. So two names, and one name is one column, the other name is another column, right? So basically, I want to do a new column that gives the answer. So I'll say concat what Thomas, comma. If I want there to be a space in between, I open my double apostrophe, I put a space, I close it, I say where Julius. And we have Thomas Julius. Concat E12, that's E, column E, and F together. So it's the same thing here. Concat, first name, last name. Of course, I want it to be a space in between. So in this one, I'll use a single apostrophe because double apostrophe are for columns alone. So if I run this again, you'd see, okay, let's call it as first name, as actor. Now with this, you can see the main actors per row. So the main actors per row. The main actors per row. I see this as very interesting. 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 Let me try something. Let's see what happens if we say select all instead of select title concat instead of specifying. What happens if we say select all? What happens if we say select all? So if you say select all, what's going to bring? It's going to bring us everything from this table. But unfortunately, it's going to bring us everything from the left table, which is the leftmost table, which is film. And then the other thing that's I don't know if you can look at this all the way like this and look at this. I don't know if you can see nose. Excuse me. I don't know why my system is like this. We probably can't be able to see it looking at this. I'm trying to show us an example, but I doubt I would see it. So let me tweak this. Let me tweak this. Let's see where I want to try something where first name is not first. Let's go name is not. Do we have anything like this? We have anything like this. This is just me trying something. Don't look at this as anything. It's me trying something. Don't look at this as anything. Okay, yeah. Yes. So this is an example of what the left join does. It brought everything. So the first thing that happens here, right? It's at the film table as F. So this film is on leftmost part, leftmost part of the table, leftmost part. That's where you can see film ID showing up, the title and everything. What happened now? Yeah, is we join the film actor. The film actor just has if you look at the columns here, actor ID, film ID, and last update. Actor ID, film ID, and last update. Unfortunately, we're seeing nulls here. We're seeing nulls here. We're seeing nulls here. Why? Because actually, there's no relation between these three columns. Like between this actor table in this area, right, where the first name is null, I was able to bring out the places where there's no relation. Like in terms of there's only one thing at the left and there's no one thing at the right. Like why you're seeing nulls all the way here in the actor table and the film actor table is actually because why you're seeing nulls there is actually because this is not an inner join. An inner join only brings up like it joins them together, of course, and which it still did here. This is a left join, but he brought out everything in the left table, and now he brought out from the right table. That's basically the two tables. Other two tables were joined. Although we're saying left join, left join. This is the left table. Any other table, we bring it from the right. So he brought out now everything from the left table, but only, and of course, only where like I hope I'm not making things too complicated, but what I'm trying to say is only everything in left tables are put. If you look at this Venn diagram, let's look at it again. That puts everything in left table and brings the right tables, things on right tables, but only where there's something related. So the reason why we are seeing blanks or nulls all the way there is because we did a left join. So everything, of course, from field will join. And the other tables that we brought in, things are still showing, but only where it exists in the left. And you basically end up with some places being null because it's bringing everything left. And like there's a way it works. That's just the way it works. I wanted to just show us a mini example of this is what happens in left join. Mini example, left join mini example. I really like the example we're going for. I really like the examples we're going for. So I don't know if we should look at one more example of the left join, should we? Let's do one more quick example of the left join. Let's do one more quick example of the left join. Then we'll enter the right joins. So we have a question here. The question is find all customers along with the movies they have rented, including customers who haven't rented any movies. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think some of us were looking for difficult questions at some point. It's not, I won't say it's difficult, but now this is a bit nerve-wracking because you're not used to working with this. So how are we going to answer this? Find out customers along with the movies they have rented, including customers who haven't rented any movies. So after this, you mention the right join, the full outer join, then the rest of the like. So one customer's information. That's basically the customer table. Select all from customer. All from customer. Interested in the customer table in this regard. In this regard, want all the customers. Okay, want the movie table, want the movies also. That's the film table. Okay. We're basically joining the customer and the film table together. Customer, let's look at it from the edge or from the schema. Let's see the customer table. What I'm doing is because it might be a bit faster looking through things. So sometimes you might find yourself looking at the schemas instead of going say selector. Customer table, have customer ID, this thing. How about the movie table, which is the film table? The film table, we have what do we have in the columns? What film ID? Okay, film ID is the main thing there. And yeah, unfortunately, we have customer ID and store ID. We don't have anything. So as you can see, there is nothing to bridge the gap. There is nothing to bridge the gap. I want us to, instead of me doing this one, so this is a left join. All the expo you have here is that we would use just left join. We'll use left joins or a total. I want us to take that as a study question instead of me answering this. I want us to take it as a study question. But I can show you how to do it. But I've done something similar, I think just now. And the expo is that the joints is going to be a left joint. So it's already an up expo. So it's up to us now to deconstruct this and bridge the gap between these two things. So I would want us to take that assignment instead of me doing it in the class. So let's cover the right joints. Let's cover the right joints. We're moving. What's the right joint? Right joint is basically going to be opposites. It's going to show everything in the right table. And it's going to show the things in the left only where they intersect. It's going to bring out everything in the right. It's going to bring out everything in the right. Everything in the right. So, of course, it's going to show the left only where it intersects. But that only where it intersects is the main key. Only where there's something related is the main key. So let's look at it. Looking at this left joint again. You brought everything from the left-hand side. And brought out B, which is table 2, or the two tables we added, but only where they are related. Do you know what this means? It means in table B, there'll be some places where there'll be nulls. It's just like this query that we wrote. I think this is a better example way to explain this. Since it's bringing out everything in the left-hand side, right? Everything in left-hand side. It's going to bring, of course, where the two additional tables which are going to be on the right. It's going to bring where they're related. But at the end of the day, if they are not the same length, if the tables are not the same length long, like, okay, they're different lengths and everything, and one brings out, let's say this table, film table at the left is longer than film actor and actor. Yeah, in actor and film actor, what you see is where it's related to the left. But because they were not the same length at the end of the day or in the beginning, there will be places where there will be nulls or blanks. That's why you see actor, film ID, this thing. It's not the same length with the film table. So, but the other places, why they're showing like this, of course, because I said where first name is null. Because I said where first name is null, I'm able to easily see some nulls, like easily. If I didn't do where first name is null, I have to start manually looking for nulls in the other tables, and it's going to take too much time. So I just said, okay, let's do where first name is null. But if I actually look at it manually, I might be able to see that it comes to a point where instead of showing me something, it will be null. Don't know how possible that would be. How possible that would be, but this, you can see the reason. I don't want to do it manually. Yes, So we came to this point. So we came to this point around 803 or 5,463 rows. I started seeing nulls. So they were not all the same length. This is where you start, and null towards the end. You can see. No, no, it brought everything from the left table. It's bringing out the two right tables where it's related. But of course, the left table was now longer than the two right tables. That's why if you look at the two right tables that are here, which is the actor and the film, at some point you see nulls. At some point you see nulls. If this was an inner join, right, you would only see you would not see like full nulls like this. You will see that maybe if actually maybe in one of the tables there was actually a null value, like in the normal table, but you not see nulls like this, like in the entire two tables that you brought in. If that was an inner join, you will not see anything like that. I don't know if I was able to explain the concept a bit more, but let's look at some right join questions. So right joins, and let's explain. It's basically right join now is going to be the opposite. It's going to bring out everything from the right table, right? So any other thing in the left table is going to show only where it's related. But of course, if the right table is not longer, if you look at the table structure, you might see many nulls when it comes to the um, left tables, because it's only going to bring everything in the right table, and it's going to bring left table outputs only where it's related. So the right join now is talking about this diagram. Talking about this diagram. So everything with the right table only where the left table is related. So let's answer the question, or let's attempt the question together. The question is list all. Have I posted it? Okay, I haven't. So Control C. Control C. So, oops, this is too long. Let's. I don't have time to. Okay. So this is. Why am I doing this? Okay, it's okay. This is right joins. Right joins. Right joins. Okay. List all the rented movies along with the details of the customers who rented them, including movies that might not be rented. So this is also very interesting. I don't know if you guys are finding this as interesting as I am, but I am finding it interesting. So select what we're interested in. Okay, I'm interested in movies. That's the title. Select title. What else are we interested in? We're trying to details of the customer who rented them. That's the customer ID. Because actually we don't have from the if we actually look at the customer table, we don't have the customer. Okay, we have the customer first name and last name. Okay, we can do. Okay, we can do first name, last name, then do concat. So I'll say first. Let me check the phone table first to see that if we don't have first name and last name. Okay, it works. So I can say first name. Remember, want to see all movies rented along with details of the customers who rented them. So we want to see the customer name. So I can say first underscore name. I can say last underscore name. But of course, I want them to be together, so I'll use the concat. So I'm just imagining how it to be when we're done with the queries. So I want them to be together, so I'll use the concat. Of course, I want there to be a space in between them. So I'll say this in the concat, if you're in Excel, the concat system, the commas are like plus, basically first name plus last name. So first name plus, let's give it a space in between, plus a space, comma, that's plus last name. Let's do this. Okay, we're interested in where the film table, right? From the film, from film. I'll just say as F, right? From film as F. Okay. We are also interested in the customer. So actually, let's actually look at this again. The film table has film ID, title. Okay, okay. This is almost me answering the former question for us, or in a different way, using the right join. So there's no bridge, unfortunately. There's no bridge, unfortunately. Like there's nothing like film table has film ID, customer table has customer ID, but we don't have like things to bring them together. And you might be wondering if you might be saying this like me, okay? Might be saying like me, okay. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. So yes, let's look for something that will bridge the gap. So let's look for something that will bridge the gap that has either film ID or customer ID or even both. Or even both. So what I would think of is let's check what I would do normally is check through my tables, but I think I might know where it is. I think it's an inventory table. Inventory. Oh, it's never inventory. Can you imagine? Let's check the customer table again. So this is how it's gonna be. Customer table. Okay, it's gonna be inventory. Okay, it's going to be inventory. Is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Customer has store ID. Film does not have store ID. The film is not doing anything with the store. If you look at the film, there's no store ID. There's no store ID. So our task now is because like we can't directly bring these two together. We'll have to bring something that it relates to both. So that is what we're going to be doing, or that's what I'm going to be doing. I think it's going to. Oh, it's inventory. Inventory also has film ID. Mm, and customer has what? Store ID. Inventory has film ID and store ID. So yes, I was correct on that. We'll actually use the inventory. So from film as F. So I'm going to join inventory. Join. So remember what this is the right join. Right join inventory story as I. On where? On F does film ID. Let's see if it completes for me equals to I dot completed for me now. Film ID. It's not completing for me. But I'm not done. Let's also bring the other table which we're interested in. We're interested in movies and we're interested in customer. So that'll be customer, right? Join customer as C on where now on I dot store ID, right? Store ID equals to C dot store ID. So fingers crossed on this. Let's run this to see if we are correct. Let's run this to see if we're correct. Inventory has store ID. Yes. We have been able, interestingly, we have been able to now see, right, all movies rent. Glory, glory.
I thought you're not in class now.
You thought I was not in class.
You're so quiet. You're not asking questions.
I'm just tired. I'm just tired. Okay, so we're going to start continuing from where we stopped. Sorry for the break in transmission. This class has been a bit quiet. I'm not used to it being this quiet. uh, yeah, that's been a bit quiet. That's been a bit quiet. I hope I hope all is well. Well, I know Glory is not feeling too well like that, but yes. So right now we have seen what this query has been able to do for us is this. We're able to see the instance of the film, like being bought by each customer is being, before I say being bought, being rented by each customer is being rented by. Like I've seen the film name, or I've seen who is renting it or who rented it. So if you keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, you can see the query. I don't know if you can see it all the way down. You can see the output as 2000. This is just showing 2000 things out of, I don't know if I'm saying well, out of 13. I'm not seeing that well. 13 words. 137. I don't know. This Zoom thing is blocking me. But yeah, there's a lot. This is a lot of like rentals. This is like all the rental information basically. And there's a lot of customers that have rented things. So showing rental by each customer that rented it. By each customer that rented it. In a way, I can be able to spin this up into like, okay, let's see film rented and how many, the number of rentals. I can actually be able to spin it up to give me that result. So it's up to you to be creative on how you do that. And one thing to know, right? One thing for you to note, I don't think I mentioned this, is that although I've been doing like this, it's not set in stone. Like this is not necessarily with the only ways to work with things. I can write, I can write the right join that will give me one answer. I will change that query to a left join and it will give me the same thing. It's not really set in stone. So if I start something from a left-hand side, for example, if I start, remember I said, I don't know if I should do this. I don't want it to take so much time, excess time. So in this example that we did, right? We said I think we did a left join, because this film table is at the left. So we want the film table, everything to appear, then wherever like everything else to be an like the film table basically the main table. Then the film actor and the actor are only coming up where they are related to the film table. Where they're related to the film table. I could actually change this in a way. I can make this film table as a, instead of it coming at the first, I will make it come at the last, and I can able to tweak things up to give me the same answer. But like I'm not going to do that just because of timing and everything. But usually, right, we need to know that they, although you might be seeing the answer, this is not necessarily the only way I could spin it up. It's not necessarily the only way I could spin things up. So I really want us to watch the video. I know maybe we're just feeling weak on one of the things. I really want us to see if we could try out the video of the course and try to refresh our memory or try to understand a little bit better if possible. If possible. So the second question there, I'm going to give us an assignment. So let's go into the full outer joins. Let's go into the full outer joins. So this now is a bit different. So if you remember the Venn diagram I showed us, full outer join is basically bringing everything from the left and everything from the right. It brings everything from both tables. Everything from both tables. Everything from both tables. That's what the full outer join will do for us. If I specifically mention full outer join, okay, I want everything from one table and everything from the other table I'm interested in. I'm specifying. So let's do a question that relates to the full auto join. And the question is, display all customers and movies rented, even if a customer has no rent out on movies or a movie has no customers. Interesting question, right? So this is us exploring the full outer join. Full outer join. Full outer join. Full outer join. So I have not posted the question. The customers rented, customers and movies rented, even if a customer has no rentals or a movie has no customers. Interesting. Let's attempt this together. Let's attempt this together. So I'll select the first name, last name, because I mean that's the customer's name, first name, comma, last underscore name. And movies rented. So we're looking at the title there. Customers and movie rented. So title, customer and title, right? TITLE. Even if the customer has no renter. So let's specify. So a full outer join, sorry. Full, yeah, you can say full join actually. Let's leave that full outer join. just for this case. Oh, but this water join is too long, I. Anyone, it doesn't matter. A full outer join. Let's bring the film table. Film table on where? So the thing is now, this is a bit tricky. The tricky part of this, right, is that we're interested in customers. We're not just interested in customers. In the customers table, if you look all the way there, we're just having information about the customers. The interesting part about this was we're seeing and movies rented. And movies rented. So we might be actually looking at another table because like we can't see the rented movies from the customers. And unfortunately, we can't see the rented movies from the film table. If you look at it, film table just title. We have rental rate and things like that, but we don't know, like we're not understanding full context yet. So we actually have a table called rentals or rental. In that rental table, what's going on there is that you can see more things about the rentals of the customer now. You can see things like the rental ID, the rental date, the inventory ID. So rental ID, rental date, return date. So these are very interesting things. Are the very interesting things that we're going to use. So once see all the customers and movies rented, even if a customer has no rentals or a movie has no customers. So although we're going to be using all these tables, remember the question said even if a customer has no rentals or a movie has no rentals. So this is a full outer join. I don't stress ourselves too much, but we just need to know where we're connecting. We need to know where we're connecting. And from what we know, can we connect the film table directly to the um customer table? Unfortunately not. So the film table and the customer table, the film has the film ID, customer table has the store ID. So we can't connect them directly. Fortunately for us, we can use the from what I can see, we should be able to use the rental. Okay, so give me a sec, sorry. We're not even going to use rental as a bridge. We're going to use something else as a bridge, which we have used before. I think it's going to be either the film category. Yeah. Remember, it's going to be the film category, film ID, film, customer ID. Sorry. Film ID. I know this is a bit confusing, I'm sorry, but this is the psychology, like this is how you're going to be thinking. Okay, what table am I going to use to join such table or this table or that table together? What table am I going to use? I like this example as it looks. I like this example. So customer ID is where is customer table. I could actually join that, but now what would I use to join the film? I could actually join the customer ID directly to the rental table, or how will I join the film? So, but let's do this. Let's join the customer. Sorry, let's make film not be the first. So I would say from, sorry about this, from let's start with the rental, right? Full outer join. No, let's say from customer. Full outer join rental on where? On rental. Let's say okay, customer C, right? As C, rental as R, on where? On C dot, I think both have customer ID, right? Customer ID, customer ID equal to R dot customer ID. So this is going to be a bit, I think 4 tables. Got R the customer ID. We're not done yet. I basically joined the customer and the rental. But how about the what's it called? The film. How about the film? How about the film? How about the film? How about the film? So let us for this, let us join. Let's do it a bit differently. I'm interested, looking at this, I'm interested in the, what's it called? Let's look back at the, okay, let's use customer. So we're going to be using 4 tables here. The customer, let's just make it specific. Customer, we're going to be using the film. going to be using a rental. And we are going to be using the film category. Sorry, we're going to be using the inventory. Inventory. So I don't know if you can see it for here. Inventory has film ID and store ID. Which customer? Film has film ID, customer has store ID. So let me just make this a bit different. I don't like the logic I was going for before. So on film as F, full outer join. So full outer join, what's it called? Inventory. Full outer join inventory on. So let's change this rental to inventory. Inventory as I on. So let's change this connection on F dot film ID equals to I dot inventory ID. I dot inventory ID. So still full outer join, full outer join. What should I think we're joining? We're just joining film and this thing. Let's join customers. Customer C on customer as C on that's gonna be where? That's going to be I. No, that's not gonna be I. That's going to be yes, that's gonna be I. Inventory. Inventory has the store ID also. So I the store ID. I see on I the store ID. I just wish we can practice all this. Just wish you can practice all this. It's quite easy. So store ID equal to C the store ID. Then this is just looking long. It's just looking long, but nothing crazy. Let's now add up so there's 3 tables: film table, inventory table, customer. We also need the rental. Full outer join. Full outer join rental as R on R dot what? So now I want to join the rental with the previous one. So rental. Okay. And give me a sec. Customer. So rental has rental ID, inventory ID, customer ID. Okay. Customer has customer ID. So rental dot customer ID equal to C the customer ID. The question is just the question just makes everything easy when you told us that it's 4 outer join that we're doing. So inventory does not exist. So what does it say? Inventory. So yeah, let's call them properly. There's no such thing called inventory as per in columns. There's no column called inventory. We just want this. What's going on here? Full outer join. Okay, I didn't see from. This will be from film. It's not what I deleted yet. I just deleted the wrong things. So full outer join, yeah, should work now. Of course. Let's say as F. We don't need to specify it there, but let's say we need to specify directly F dot film ID. So yeah. So this is gonna take a while. 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 I don't know why it's taking a while. But let's wait a bit. Let's wait a bit. Let it load up. Let it load up. Let it load up. I'm going to cancel the loading. Cancel query. And I'm going to try it again. Let's try execute again. Why this is going on is that we're working with multiple tables and maybe the output is going to be long. Maybe the output is going to be long. Maybe the output is going to be long. So it might take time sometimes. It might take time sometimes. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy, nothing crazy. What I can do to shorten the time is let's Okay, it has come up. Thank God. It has come up. It has come up. It has come up. It has come up. So this is the full outer join. It's full outer join. It's full outer join. So I'm bringing the first name, last name, and this thing. So like everything is coming out from each table. Like it's not bringing the result based on where um they all intersect. It's bringing all the first name and last name from where I think first name and last name is from the film table, no, the customer table. It's also bringing title, all the titles from the what's it called, the film table. So if you look all the way down, you'll see this is 3,000 rows out of, because of this my sharing stuff. I don't know if I can move it. Yeah, 3,000 rows. I don't know if you can see it. It's 3,000 3,000 rows that are showing out of three. This is how many million or billion? I'm not I'm sure I'm not the one there. This is like out of 36 million. Out of 36 million rows.
Yeah, that's
Yes. Why this is showing is because bring everything from everything. Everything from everything. Everything from everything. Everything from everything. And this is about like 4 columns, 4 tables that we're calling. So it's everything is showing up.
Mr. Gosi.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I've been a little slow today following through and all that. So I just want to ask a question. I don't know if you've said it and maybe I didn't catch it.
No
This
problem.
the select from what is the criteria for using for picking a table from the, because from what I'm seeing, if I'm not mistaken, you picked columns from like two data, at least three data sets, a bit two data sets, and what is the criteria for choosing the table from? What is the criteria, sir?
So yes, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. And that question goes back to my statement that um what did I say again? That it's not all one way to do the same thing. So I'm going to show you this, the first example that we did. I'm going to show us the first example that we did. This first example, I'm going to bring it back here to explain things a bit more. I'm going to bring this from here. Okay, let's place this here. Let's place this here. So, for example, right, the criteria to use is from this. The first thing you need to know is that when you're working with 2 tables or more, the first thing you call, the first from you call is going to be at your left-hand side. So in this one, we're calling the film table, and we're calling the language table, join language. We're calling the film table and we're calling language table. So what's going on here, first of all, because I said film first, film is on the left and language on the right. So if let me decide to, inner join obviously brings the intersect between the two. Let me change this to a left join, for example. Left join language. So by left join language now, what this means is, remember film, the first thing we call, which is the from film, is on my left-hand side. This means that it's going to bring everything in the film and bring the language only where it's related to like the film table. So if I run this now, the output it gives me, so language and is ambiguous. Film the, okay, yes, that's it. This, oh yeah, remember this was not the full thing. So this was not the full thing. If you remember, we also like edited, put the F and everything. So let's see as F. It's not the full thing, sorry. Language as L. So I'll say on F the language is not the full thing. The language equals to L the language. L the language. So this give us a result, a better result now without error. Better result without error. So 1,000 out of 1,000. Very cool, very okay. What's going on here for context is bringing that everything in the film table. Are they bringing what in the language table where it's related? So if you go down, there might be a chance that there are nulls in the language table. There might be a chance. There might be a chance that there's nulls in the language table. So let's see.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so if I'm in this example, you're in this left join, you are saying you just cited now. Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing
Okay,
you.
this left join you just cited now, in essence, the what's it called? The theme is the left table.
Yes.
Then I don't know where the language is coming from. The table the language is coming from is
The language is now going to be the right. The next thing, like if you are using multiple tables, right? The first table you call is your left hand side. Like
okay.
if you are trying to visualize it,
Okay,
especially.
okay, sir. In this case now, assuming this is a right join. In this
Yes.
case, now the film table would have been the right table, then the other table would have been the
Mhm.
left.
Yes, if we want to do this, we can. If we want to use a right join to give us the same output with this, we'll change the way the arrange things are arranged. So that's why I said everything is not set in stone. We can use a right join to get us the same answer, but it's going to differ where in the calling in how we call the tables. Like so, remember the film is the first table, means at the left. So if I do a right join here and I want to give us the same output up there, so I say right join, I'll have to change this first from to be the language. And so I'll say language as L. Then this language, I will change it to the film as F on L dot equals to F dot. L the language equals to F the language. These two things right now, these two queries, the main difference is first of all the join changed because and not even first of all the from change. So yeah, yeah is film as the first thing called. Here's L as the first thing called. So it means that L was not the left. And since we brought right join film was the second thing we brought. Film is not the right. If we want to have the same output where we bring everything in the film table and the language table also, but only where the language table is related to the film table. Like in general, if we want to do something like that with both the left join and right join, this is how to do it. And this is giving us the same answer. So this second query now is the same thing with the first one. But because the position of film changed, yeah, instead of me doing a left join again, it won't work. Left join now, if I do left join here, it's going to be the same different output because now L is at the left, language at the left. I'm going to show everything in language and only where the film is related. I know it sounds how it sounds, but I don't know if that was able to make you grasp it a bit more. Just look at it. Just look at it. These two things, these two questions, or let me call it similar one, alternative, or similar to, same output, same output. This is giving us the same output, the same output. Because although the position of the items changed, we also now change the join. So if you remember the join, full outer join gives everything from both. The inner join gives us an intersect, and the left join brings everything from the left hand side, only where the right hand side is related. The right join brings everything from the right, but only brings what is related in the left. So if we switch up our language, if we switch up the arrangement, like anytime, like the main thing you should get up, any like is that okay, I'm working on multiple tables or two tables. The first that select from, that from, whatever is there, whatever table is referenced there, is at the left hand side. Whatever is now brought after is at the right. So because like you already know the function of a left joint, that left joint means anything from the left, and only where the right is related. So just like by knowing that concept and by knowing how it works, like the first from is going to be left, whatever you bring is at the right. You can be able to, especially like in your mind, visualize type of join you're going to bring, or the type of join is going to be like to give you a certain output, just like here now. I hope that has been able to break it down just a little bit more for us. The thing is that we need constant practice. We need constant practice to be able to get this fully. It's not, I know it's a new concept to us. I don't know, has anybody been able to work with the W3 schools? I think we mentioned it, but I've not mentioned it, but my supervisor or my superior has mentioned it, that we can practice with W3 schools. Tonight's November class.
I think I've looked at some of these things on W2 school, W3 this thing.
Please do, please do, please do, please do, please do.
And sir, Mr. Gosa,
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
I just want to ask, if you don't mind, particularly for this session, if we can get, if it's possible for us to get the, what's it called, the file for the data sets that we are used, if it's possible, I'm appealing with regards to that. Personally, for me, I don't know about.
Okay, the query.
Yes, the query.
Is it the file for a data set or the query? No problem.
Yeah, the
No
file for
problem.
the, and because I think it's, I really want to catch up on this. I really want to catch up on the joints.
No problem, no problem. That's very possible. So
Thank you very much.
this is just me looking at W3 schools. No problem, no problem, no problem. So what's going to happen is that we still have one or two concepts we still want to cover. We have covered this. I won't cover the second one. I'll probably give us as an assignment. But in our next class, we'll just quickly have a revision of what we did, then look at the self and we have not finished. We're not done. We need to understand the self join. Like I told you, join
Are
is
we not done
one-on-one.
already?
Sorry?
I said, are we not done already?
No. No, it's just two more types of join, don't worry. We're done with the main joints. The left, right, the full. But we just look at an example of the self join, joining something to itself. Then a cross join. We might do the cross join, we might not. But yes, we just need to understand it's like it's practice. If I'm to practice, when I practice the SQL, I don't just use the W3 school. The W3 school is to give you the basic of the concept. So I use SQL Zoo. SQL Zoo. SQL Zoo now. Why I like SQL Zoo is that in love, like whether you're using your phone or whether you're using your tablet or whether you're using your system, you can practice writing SQL. You can practice writing SQL. So you can see all the way up here as I just entered the website. You can see the SQL type now is MySQL. Because we're using Postgres, let's change to Postgres SQL. So whatever thing we do, it will give us the result if we're using Postgres. So you can see some interesting things. Some count joins, more joins. I don't know if you can see. If you go to this join now, there's a lot of different things. Self-join, this self-join. So that you'll be able to answer the question by itself. Self-join, joins, you can see they are showing you tables. But like, yeah, it was not hard to explain this, but yeah. If you're using your tab now, this is the like. You can literally you don't need a PG admin to run these questions on SQL. So I really practice with SQL for me to learn SQL more than MySQL. MySQL I just need to glance through the concepts. Once I already got the idea, I use my SQL, and it's a very light website. So I really encourage us to look at this SQL most especially to practice, practice, and practice and practice. So yes, welcome to the end of class. I really like us to look through the videos of the classes or this class specifically because just looking at things look difficult. It's not difficult. You would see because like I made sure to to show us how, or at least to say how I thought about things in terms of especially like We want to connect two tables together. But these two tables now, there's no related column. We have to find a related column. Like, I've been able to break down my psychology in a way, like my thinking or my logic to answers, so to how I will go about answering some of these questions, some of these questions, some of these questions. Please, let's look through all this. I'm going to send this file on the chat right now. As immediately I'm done, or immediately I close this class, I'm going to send this chat, this chat, this SQL file, and just two things to just for two or three things, or let's say two things for us to try, our hands, just based on what we have done. Just based on what we've done. And if you even look at what we've done, you're able to answer the questions I give. They're not crazy. They're not overly complicated. So I hope this class has not been too nerve-wracking. Glory, you are awfully quiet today. But yes, let's look through the materials and that's what we can do. That's what we can
Okay.
do. So yes, I'll send the material immediately. I'm just gonna do it now, so I'll not forget. I'll send one or two things. So I would say thank you very much to all of us. Thank you very much, all of us. Don't worry, we're on our way to becoming SQL bosses. Now, small steps, small steps, small steps. Very soon, we'll be where we want to be. So thank you very much. See you guys in our next session, which will be on Monday, God willing. So have a nice, a wonderful weekend, everybody. Mr. Glory, first Mr. Glory, Glory, Mrs. Papa Charlie. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You too.